right here, so keep it locked.
This is GRIZZBIZ, my 2 cents.
Why does it look different?
This shit ain't magic, this ain't no act. Nine on my waist to dodge the gas. Racing the streets, no doubt the best. And fuck it for spree, I'm still gon' tax. No jumper, but the bumper make 'em back. No message, I'm
Right now,
Guess who? Nobody got nothing on us.
you're locked in to the greatest station, GRIZZBIZ, my 2 cents.
I don't like this view. What the heck is this view, man? Anyway, we back at it. Wednesday to Wednesday. We are back in the building. I don't like this view. It's messing me up. Can we get the other view, please, back? I don't like this view. Anyway, we back at it Wednesday to Wednesday to Wednesday. Let's give my co-host Nadia Corleone a round of applause. She's just making waves all over the internet. Everybody is talking about her. There we go. Now I feel comfortable. Everybody's talking about you, ma'am. I have to let them know you my little angel. My other angel. You know,
Why they talking about little old me?
all the information that you providing and how you going hard on everything, you know. So we definitely give you a round of applause. We appreciate you very much. So you understand what I'm talking about?
I got straight A's in school. I made honor roll.
We definitely back in the building. We got something interesting jumping off today. But before we get started, let's go ahead and run our sponsors right quick.
Turn your TV down.
I turn my TV down, and I told my wife she got to be quiet. Ain't that something? There we go. All right. First up, we got Goodies Barbecue. 1440 Hamilton Avenue is still barbecue season all year round. And I don't know if you've been paying any attention, but right before the show, I just posted a picture, and you will receive a $10 voucher worth of food from Goodies Barbecue for the person who calls in or puts the best caption for that picture. That picture says says 1,000 words. But you also can get a 10% discount on your purchase at Goodies by saying my 2 cents. They got rib tips, they got ribs, they got chicken, they got pulled pork, they got brisket, they got turnip upside down pineapple cake. Man, he got a lot of stuff, man. And it's always packed in there. So go on over there and get your barbecue at 1440 Hamilton Avenue, Goodies Barbecue. That's what's up. Let's get them on the clock. Next up, we got Garmin Home Solutions, 513-266-8290. If you need any electrical work done on your house, these are the people to call. Professional, on time, and cost efficient. You won't be spending an arm and a leg. You won't be cheap, but you won't be spending an arm and a leg. And guess what? You can get a discount if you say my 2 cents. That's a 10% discount on any service that you choose. So let's give Garmin Home Solutions a round of applause. Again, the number is 513-266-8290. Next up, we got Dank Nation, www.danknation.co. And this is where you can go get your apparel. We got all the marijuana apparel you can think of. You can custom make it, whatever you want. You can get it done at www.danknation.co. Also, we got some things in the works where you can purchase our very own strand. Yes, and we will be having a naming contest for this strand. You know what I'm saying? So we all getting in the business. We've been put behind bars for so long and so many tickets, we might as well take advantage of it. You know what I'm saying? Not let these other folks get all the money. Let's give www.danknation.co a round of applause. Next up, we got Powered Barbershop with V14 Classified. Yep, men wear hair weaves, man weaves. We do. Y'all heard Steve Cat Williams talk about Steve Harvey? What he should have did was came to Polished Barbershop and got with Tony O'Hingston and got some of that G14 Classified. He wouldn't be looking like who knew, who did it, when, why. You know what I'm saying? What, why? But going over there to the website, get all your supplies you need. You can also go to the barbershop, polished.barbershop.com, the website, and book your appointment. Check out on Instagram, Polished Barbershop, so you can see all the man weaves. Yes, and your boy is in there. I'm telling you now, you wouldn't even known it. You wouldn't even known it until I told you. You can receive a 10% discount by saying my 2 cents when you get to the website. So let's give G14 and Polished Barbershop a round of applause. Also with them, before we do that, we're going to be at a new studio. We're still going to be Unanimous Network. We're still going to have Crazy Andrew and the Unanimous team doing what they do. But we're just going to be in a new location for a minute here. So let's give that a round of applause. Look at that. Oh, next up we got Bagman. Yep, we got Bagman, Coleraine, and Hopple. Go on and get your bags, your Molar bags, custom bags. I don't know why you're playing. Like I said, I should be able to say what's up on the new store up in Clifton. Boy, it's gonna be better than the store. I'm gonna let them tell you. I'm gonna tell you when it's opening so you can go up there and get it. But in the meantime, go on down there to Hop on Coleraine and get your bags. They are only $1 as it is. And then if you say my 2 cents, you get a 10% discount. Man, I'm all over. We all over the city giving out discounts. So you better get on the bandwagon. Let's give Bagman a round of applause. Well, we got to get EDE Solutions. Yep, they are the bread and the butter. EDE Solutions, the leaders in computer repair, refurbished computers, networking, whatever you need done, EDE Solutions can do it. And I'm going to let you in on a new secret. We got a segment from the guys at the job called Matt, and Pat.
What?
Matt, and Pat. Gonna give them a segment and let them do what they do. White boys are crazy. I love them to death. Not all white people are bad. You understand me? And I'm giving my team down there on Western Avenue a salute. You know what I'm saying? It's a family affair. So let's give EDE Solutions a round of applause. So it's back to Wednesday. Nadia, it's been a busy first of the month. You know what I'm saying? And we just now get to the halfway mark. And oh my gosh, it's
jumping, ain't it?
Jumping, just like
it came in swinging.
We just sit back and we didn't already from the last year put all the information out, and some of it's catching up to people, and some of it ain't catching up to people. Some people still stuck on stupid and relaxed on dumb. And I have a fun time and entertain them in at first, but then when they get to being disrespectful and goofy, it's like, you know what? We don't have time. I don't have time for it. I get tired of people talking about prove it. No, you prove it.
That part.
You nitwit. We didn't already did the investigation. I'm
right. Even when we already provided it, and not only that, you can go get it yourself.
Give yourself dumb zip a dingbat. That was my word for the week. Dingbats.
A dingbat.
Your word for the week last week was white meat. Pause. That was her words, fellas. That was her words. I'm not gonna say it again like that, but pause. But dingbat. You know what I'm saying? I don't know where she got.
That's the safe word.
Yeah, you damn sure safe because I ain't saying it no more.
White meat.
Stop. Don't start. Don't start that. Let's stay on task. Well, today's guest. Where's Cola? See, that's what I'm talking about. See, this is the stuff I'll be talking about. She played too many games.
She gonna jump in.
She probably will, but I'm just saying. She, ladies and gentlemen, my co-host, she's a nigga for real. I'm just saying, she's a dude.
Leave Cola alone.
She's pretty than a dude. She's not a real dude, but she acts like a dude. If Steve Harvey wrote that book, it was he got the information from her ass. Had to be. Because she
just know what she want. That's it.
Well, I'm glad you're in sisterhood, because we're back to sisterhood now. Because for a minute, I didn't know if we had a sisterhood. You know what I'm saying? But hopefully she jumped right in again. You know what I'm saying? Take the damn camera off. Oh, and by the way, we are looking for a couple more co-hosts. Ivory the Aries ain't gone nowhere, so don't get it twisted. Let's give Ivory the Aries a round of applause for the vision and format that I have. This is what we need. So I need 2 more beautiful females that want to take this serious. You get paid later, get greater later. You know what I'm saying? If it's not fashion or something that you want to do, don't even bother. It's all good. Everybody said they want to do a podcast. We're going to do a podcast. We're going to do a podcast. What you think about that, Grizz? Knock yourself out, buddy.
To each his own.
Do your thing. There's 1 million McDonald's in the world, and 1 million Wendy's, and they be right next to each other. So it is what it is. I wish you the best. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Do your thing.
Round of applause for wishing people the best. Because don't ask me, because we still trying to get where we going. You understand? So we recognize it. But today's guest, though, man, we both been on this journey. And my family has too. I see my daughter. It's funny. My daughter gave me the bitter beer face at first. Every time I want to mention something about health or all the roots and stuff that we eat, I get this face from both of them. That's the face I get from my wife and my daughter. But I was very pleased though, because I saw her bring home some stuff that I picked up before, and I forget what it is, but it's stuff that she trying. I'm gonna see what it do, Daddy. Okay, all right, that's all we can. So that's what we own, you know. And one of my favorite places to go is Root Seeds and Oils over on Galbraith and Reading Road. I invited her. I don't think I gave her the link. I'm gonna give her the link, but I'm gonna have her back. Have her supposed to back on. And we got another person coming on the show today. This brother seems well versed in holistic medicines, herbals, and so forth. So when I saw him, I said, well, let me reach out to him. Well, he reached out to me, and it's funny, it's on networking, because his brother needed a computer. And who you gonna call when you need a computer? You gonna call Computer Dude and Grizz. You understand me?
Whatever.
So without further ado, I'm gonna bring this brother on, man, and we're gonna talk to him about some things and get his opinion and on the matter, on holistic medicine. Is brother Means there? I see his name. There he is. All right, put the screen on, brother. Let's give him. Did he put the screen on? Wait a minute. There you go. Let's give him a round of applause. There you go, right there. What's happening? Did you get your practice today?
I actually got it right here. Unboxing and everything. It's funny you mentioned that. I actually just got the laptop.
See what I'm talking about? See what I'm talking about? Let's give Grizz another round of applause with you damn computer.
Customer review.
Yes, that's what's up. So my thing is, my question was, I was when we talked about the computer, man, and then we started chopping it up, man. You started talking about CMOS and let me know exactly what it is that you get down and do. So let the people let you talk about what it is about holistic medicine that you know about.
Okay, well, I am Brother Means. I'm a certified holistic health counselor in South Florida, certified by the state. Been doing what I do for about 7 to 8 years. I got my bearings actually because of a lot of family issues, and I started to learn more and more about herbs and holistics, and got it in biology. and I started studying algae along the way. And, you know, there's a lot of conversation that can be had about algae. You know, sea moss is pretty popular right now. It's been popular because of, well, since the death of Dr. Sebi. I don't want to give quarantine the credit, you know, because the death of Dr. Sebi sent a ripple out throughout the nation. You know, you can actually do some research and see that cancer rates, diabetes rates, they all kind of subsided months after his death because of a lot of people, you know, becoming more curious and health conscious because of the death of Dr. Sebi. You know, you hear a man that cured AIDS died. That'll grab anybody's attention. So, yeah, so we can talk about sea moss just to dive right into it. You know, I don't want to get into the typical conventional style of conversation with, you know, people say, oh, I have sea moss from here and sea moss there. We could start off talking about the basics. And we're going, you know, I can talk about a little science involved with that. So it's very important to know what you're getting. So to start off, the basics would be understanding that there is cold water algae and there's warm water algae. Both of them can be used for nutrition. It is true that there's over 1,200 different species of algae in the ocean. You know, all life comes from the ocean. But when we're talking about holistic health and nutrition, there's about 20 to 30 that we really want to focus on. In the research and doing all the, you know, perusal through the data, I've identified a genus of algae that is very beneficial. In fact, Dr. Sebi talked about it many times. And there are a number of different algae out there that are beneficial. You know, you got Chondrus crispus, you have Chondrus caniculatus, you have Chondrus canthus, you have bladderwrack, you have knotted rack, you have wakame, you have guso, you have Eucheuma, cottony, Eucheuma, you have Galadium spinosum, you have macabu, purple lava, chlorella, spirulina, kelps, dulce. You know, a lot of these things, a lot of these different names, they're all beneficial. They all have different, a different species that they fall in, you know, like different category. But here's the thing that we want to talk about. Like when it comes to nutrition, when it comes to health and understanding sea moss, you really want to understand carrageenan. Carrageenan, no matter what it is, like whatever algae you're talking about, if it comes from the warm water or if it comes from the cold water, there is a profile of carrageenan that it has or concentrates the most. And that's what we need to identify because that's the beneficial constituent in algae. And there's a number, you know, there's some nuance to it, but you got 3 different types of carrageenan. You have kappa carrageenan, you have iota carrageenan, and you have lambda carrageenan. Kappa carrageenan is the best. Iota is kind of in the middle, and lambda carrageenan is the worst.
And why would we need those different type of algae?
That's a good question. So carrageenan is supposed to concentrate a very special rare sugar called galactose. Galactose is the sugar that we also get from mom's breast milk. A lot of people might not know this, but the different varieties of algae and different species, they all concentrate different minerals because of the carrageenan. Now, just to exemplify and keep it simple, carrageenan, the best one that I've found is kappa carrageenan, and it uses calcium to create a gel, right? It uses calcium to structure water and does what it does. Iota carrageenan uses potassium. Okay. Lambda, it doesn't use any mineral at all. Actually, it really doesn't even require temperature either. But this is why lambda carrageenan is something that you might want to stay away from, because there's no real mineral cofactor needed. You know, this is an algae that's just an algae. In the whole family tree of algae, you know, is there's different placements, there's levels. But here's the thing about, like, just to keep it simple, if you're dealing with algae that comes from, it doesn't matter where it comes from. If it comes from Jamaica, if it comes from Peru, if it comes from St. Lucia, if it comes from Ireland, you know, there's either kappa carrageenan, iota carrageenan, or lambda carrageenan in it. And that's what matters. So,
and these are with the sea moss.
Yeah, basically. Okay. And and the only difference from sea moss and Irish moss is that sea moss comes from the warm water, while Irish moss comes from the cold water.
So
you got a number of different.
I'm going to cut you off. I'm like, oh man, there you go. But look, how does the normal consumer differentiate between the different sea mosses? So if I go to one store and I see this sea moss, what does one have to look for to be able to say, to spot out, like, hey, maybe it's not fake, maybe it's the bacilli or the one that's not bad. I mean, the one that's bad for you. How do you spot that to the naked eye?
Basically, you just have to know what it looks like. That's the thing. That's the problem right now, because a lot of people are getting the sea moss already processed into the gel, and they don't get the chance to see what it looks like in raw form. All of these algae look different. They look about as different as, you know, the leaves or berries on a tree.
Okay, look, one time I purchased some sea moss, and I got, my first batch was like a white batch, but it was feeling flimsy. And then the second batch that I got was hard, dried up and stuff like that. And I had to clean it, and that's when it started expanding. But this one was wet. This one was dry. Why was that?
Well, the carrageenans actually concentrate a different texture of gel. With kappa carrageenan, you have more of a softer gel. And with lambda carrageenan, you have more of an industrial thick gel. I'm not going to lie to you. A lot of the emulsify, carrageenan is already $1 million industry. We got to understand that, you know, most of the drinks and the puddings and the ice creams that people buy at the stores have emulsifiers that are made from chemically extracted carrageenan. But the carrageenan they use in the industrial food complex is actually the lambda carrageenan that I'm talking about. But the carrageenan you probably got was made from the sea moss. Probably made from an algae like this. And the carrageenan that you find in algae that looks like this is called the carrageenan. Originally, it's actually supposed to be purple.
Right.
In the ocean, in its natural form, it's supposed to look purple. It's supposed to have some color to it, pigment. That's a major part about these algae. They're all based off of pigment. See, when it comes to algae, because I keep saying algae, I didn't start off by clarifying. When I say algae, I'm talking about sea moss.
Okay.
When I say algae, I'm talking about Irish moss, because what we're talking about really are algae. They're not even moss. You know, just being politically correct to the aquamarine biology. But when it comes to nutrition, you want algae that has pigments, that has color. That's the major thing about algae. They're a completely different type of plant. They're almost like alien plants. They exist in the ocean. They coexist in the ocean. You know, plants, you have to remember to water them. You have to remember to put them in the sunlight. But what happens when you have a super botanical plant that has a symbiotic nature with the water and the sunlight, and it lives in that environment, thriving constantly? You know,
this nigga just said some Spider-Man venom and venom type stuff, symbiotic.
Right. You know,
I be on it. I heard it. Like,
you can't use big words with Grizz. You gonna have to break that down.
Hey man, I heard that.
He
word
ride on a short
Spider-Man.
bus, you know.
I'm gonna keep it real then. I'm gonna just keep it simple then. These are algae these are plants that live in the ocean, and they have a completely different anatomy from what we know, what like commonly conventionally know as plants. They don't have petals, they don't have barks, they don't have pistils, they don't have stamens, they don't have stems, they don't have they don't have roots, they don't have most of the anatomy components of plants that we find on land. So one thing about the algae, it has a different type of way it cultivates in the ocean. All right. But the main way it gets its nutrition is by pigments, right? The colors matter. When it comes to nutrition in algae, when we're talking about sea moss, Irish moss, it don't matter. It has to have pigments. Now, the breakdown of the family of nutrition goes like this. The ones that are nutritious are the blue algae, the green algae, the purple algae, the red algae, and the black algae. The
so those are all different colors of mosses.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So
how you know which one?
And see this?
Say that again.
What do? You go to the ocean yourself and hand pick your stuff?
Yeah. We can you can actually you can source your own location and forage it yourself. But the thing is, it's actually dangerous to forage this stuff. That's why some algae are easily acquired than others, more easily acquired than others. Like these, they wash up on the shore every day. They get this for $2 a pound and they sell it to people over here in the States for 20. But it's actually kind of toxic to the body because most of the time when you find this sold online, it's from when they go out in the water, they forage it. They take it back on land and they put it out on a tarp and they lay it out in the sun to dry, right? But the UVB from the sun actually bleaches the pigments out of the algae and it turns from purple or red. Purple is part of the red family, by the way. Blue part of the green family. But when you expose it to sun, you overexpose it to sun, it oxidizes pigments and the color shifts from red to gold. Gold is the death phase. Gold is always be the death phase, like when you buy kale or something and you put it in the fridge too long and it just turns yellow.
So we out here getting dead sea moss because most people got that light-skinned sea moss. So we just out here eating dead sea moss.
Technically, that's good for people who are brand new to sea moss, though. I mean, it's not good for the body, but it's something to shift your fear from this type of stuff. To be honest, a lot of people, I think maybe about 80% of people are going to get this when they first look for sea moss because they're not really a lot of people educating folks on this type of stuff. And also because of COVID, a lot of people started using sea moss, and that was a good opportunity for these same people that sell it, that get it for $2, sell it for 20. That was a good opportunity for them to make some money. So, there's people literally been on Instagram telling people this is what Chondrus crispus looks like, but that's not what Chondrus crispus looks like.
That start with the G? What does that start with, a G?
This is a species called Gracilaria.
Gracilaria.
It looks like ramen noodles. But when it turns gold, it's no good. It's trash.
So how does people know that they need that? And is it like for different body types or different things that you're going through, like, health wise or whatever, to take those different color sea mosses?
Well, it takes a little understanding of the algae, but in short, there is algae that has nutritional benefits that can help a lot of people. I mean, a large variety of people, unless they're dealing with unless they're dealing with a terminal stage of disease that can't be ameliorated other than like invasive means like surgery, you know, like tumors that are serious and things like that, obstructions in the body like that. So, but for the most part, I've actually done research to allocate benefits to the different algae that belong to the different colors, the different families of pigments. So benefits to the you have the blues are the most powerful ones, but the problem with the blue algae is they're the most unstable at the same time. So soon as you take the algae that concentrate a lot of the blue pigments, they actually oxidize and they wither away. A lot of the other pigments, though, they actually have some of the blues. Like the purple family has some of the blue in it. You just can't see it. But basically, when we talk about the benefits and nutrition, it starts with understanding the type of carrageenan that's in the moss. Kappa carrageenan is what you want. Kappa or iota. Kappa is like Mario. Iota carrageenan is like Luigi. Those are the good guys.
Luigi was a sidekick. That wasn't bad.
Yeah, he was.
Why couldn't he be King Koopa or something? Like
Iota carrageenan is good for a lot of people who have issues like hepatitis and viral conditions like herpes, like B. Influenza.
So what are the benefits for people taking sea moss?
Wait a minute. So sea moss gonna help people with herpes?
Yeah.
Well, not this type. The problem with this type, for a lot of people who hear that type of information will probably, misinterpret some things, because let me stop you right there.
Okay, good.
There's types of algae that are beneficial for these diseases. I didn't say all of them.
Right.
This is one that people with herpes in particular have to stay far away from, because people with herpes have with avoiding an amino acid called L-arginine. These algae, Glossolaria, is very high in L-arginine. In fact, anybody with a viral infection, even COVID, HIV, hepatitis, you have to stay away from L-arginine yielding algae. And these are one of those main ones. So a lot of people were taking this gold sea moss for issues like that, and they just got worse. They got exacerbated because they don't that it can actually be this stuff can actually kill you if you have HIV.
Wow.
Which one is
that's crazy, because we are just out here popping it.
Yeah, but this is why I never gave, I'm consistent with what I do. I'm consistently trying to promote the importance of understanding the algae. There's moss out here there's algae out here that can be sold, and people will take it or give it to their children, and it can cause serious complications. There is actually a type of carrageenan. It's not a carrageenan, actually. It's a type of algae that they're growing. It's very popular right now. They're tying it to ropes. And they're farming it. They're farming it. They're not foraging it. They're farming it. Now, the reason why they can farm it is because of the thing I was saying earlier. These algae in the ocean, they're plants, but they have a different type of anatomy that's symbiotic with the ocean. So they don't have any need for bark. They don't have any need for stems, pistils, and stamens, and all these other components of plants on land. The thing that makes it an issue, right, is the life cycle that these algae have. Like some of the algae, this in particular, this has a life cycle that they call it has it's called diplobontic isomorphic life cycle. Now, that's what
too much. That's too much.
Well, I was going to say, what?
It takes a little understanding.
I'm on the Grizz bus now.
Stick with me, right? Basically,
yes, please get off that bus.
Hi, Cola.
This has a life. These Gracilaria algae, they have a life cycle called diplobontic isomorphic life cycle, and what that means is it reproduces by having sex with itself.
What?
Yeah, like
so it's ancestor.
Think of
incest, whatever.
Really?
Think of
and they humping on each other in the water.
Only you will come up with some things to say. Oh gosh.
He said it. He said it.
Think about Venom from Spider-Man.
See,
it's kind of the same thing, right?
Yeah.
He just growing.
That's
it's
creepy.
So all they have to do, right? If I took a little piece of this Gracilaria out the jar, out the glass, and I tie it to a rope and I put it in the shoreline and I tie it up, suspend it in the water. If I come back in 2 weeks, it'll be more Gracilaria than that's in this jar.
Wow.
And cultivate itself, like literally. And then you can take another piece, tie it to another part of the rope. Take another piece of that, tie it to another piece of the rope. It's like cultivating banana trees.
Right.
Grow it out in St. Lucia in Jamaica. And basically, they farm it. They excuse me. They farm it and then they yield it and then they ship it off. Most of the time it's gonna be gold, because here's the thing about farming Gracilaria: it's very hard to do in the ocean. So they have to do it in shallow waters. And most of the time it's the shore houses that pollute the shoreline. The shore houses that spend it right over the water, right there at the coast. When them people living in those houses, they flush the toilet. Where you think the feces and the urine goes? It right into the water where this is growing. So you don't want to stay away from that. And not only that, the profile of carrageenan that's in these mosses that's farmed, the ones that's real thick, and actually show you, because I got everything that I'm talking about. It's no longer called carrageenan. It's actually called polygeenan. It's called polygeenan, and that is something seriously. That is, like, I'm talking about all the fearful research and data that you might see on carrageenan. They talking about polygeenan. They talking about this. You know, and it comes. You'll know because it looks like an octopus and it smells like urine, and that's from. It's because it grows from that water. It literally it's becoming of that water. Like all of the eukaryotic cells in the algae of that Gracilaria, they're infused with that water. So yeah, that's why that stuff, it tastes so nasty and it smells like that. And if it's gold, you just generally...
got my stomach over here turning.
Yeah, but let's talk about the benefits now. Now, some of the best algae that you can consume. All right, we can talk about. I got it in my notes right.
Yeah, so you have a whole breakdown of the sea moss that's good for you versus the ones that people are just selling to make the money off of.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I can show you them too. I have them here.
Thank you.
Well, the ones that are most beneficial. All right.
Oh, never mind. I'm sorry.
Girlfriend. Hold on, man.
She been in here.
She need to show her face.
I don't look like it. Oh my God.
I said hi to her a long time ago.
I'm in the kitchen cooking.
She can call on the damn phone if she gonna do all that.
She said Mama's in the kitchen stirring that rice.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sick of y'all women. Anyway, go. My bad, man. You see what I go through? And I'm talking about getting 2 more. The other one coming back, and 2 more after that. There'll be 5 of them. What have I got myself into? Lord, Michelob.
And we getting into it tonight, huh?
Right.
This is a whole sea moss class. Tell them.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Why? But my screen keeps switching to a different orientation. I'm trying to get this little notice off I can't even see myself.
We can still see you.
Yeah, I can see everything. I'm good. So we got.
You need to raise your camera up a little bit though, because the only thing we see is we. There you go. Hello, there he is. Hello.
Cut this light on too.
I'm about to say you might as well have kept the mask on.
Yeah, look, I'm about to vibe right now.
So, how we know, you know how people are resorting to taking the capsules and stuff? How you know what type of sea moss you're getting in that capsule?
Okay, first things first, PSA, everybody stay away from those capsules. I honestly been talking about this a couple times. That is another way people get got. This is something that is an epidemic. It's actually been on the news. 90% of these capsuled herbs, products, and sea mosses are actually testing to have no sea moss. In fact, in some cases, they just found sand. Have the video clips and all of that stuff. Like, they were on the news talking about this. So it's very important to understand that too. All right. It's very important to understand that sea moss is an algae that's composed of a hydrocolloid. It needs to be thermoregulated, meaning it needs an aqueous solution and it needs to be exposed to heat. When you take the sea moss capsules, 90% of what is in that capsule is going to come out in your urine and your feces. The only way that you can get the real impact, at least 50%, is for you to drink a lot of water and to get a lot of exercise with taking that pill. The problem is a lot of people are not understanding that this is something that needs to be prepared to a certain degree, kind of like herbs, like tea bags. Like you get tea bags, you know what to do with that. You don't just eat the tea bag. You don't just eat the herbs in the tea bag. Right. So the thing about the aqueous solutions thing, like I tell people all the time, you need to get it in a gel form. It needs to be processed into a gel. It needs to be yielded into a gel. And I'm talking about like quality gel, like a clean, pristine gel that's pure and concentrated. Something that, it has to go through a little process. I'm not gonna lie. There's a 5-step process that I can walk anybody through to get a very high quality, pristine gel. And that's basically what people need to pay for. That they need, they can avoid a lot of problems. They can avoid a lot of stress and a lot of confusion by just understanding that sea moss is always going to be best consumed, and you're always going to get it the best in a gel, because that gel is what you're going to use and basically prepare into like a drink, and you're supposed to drink it. The problem with a lot of people too, like they think that they're supposed to eat the gel. You're not supposed to do that. This stuff holds 3-4 times its weight in water. And then when you
eat the tablespoon, don't do that.
No, you're not supposed to do that. And it's not only you're not supposed to do that with the stuff that's very beneficial, you're not supposed to do that with this. That's going to offset autoimmune. This right here, consuming this, is going to offset a number of things. It's actually directly correlated. When you eat scoops of this, when you get a clear gel of this, you're getting the opposite effect of what Dr. Sebi and the people, the master healers that talked about sea moss and the algae told you to do, told you you were going to get. That's directly correlated with gastrointestinal ulcers, polyps, some cases are very exacerbated, like SIBO, but it's also tied to IBS, Crohn's disease, colon cancer, gallstones, a number of things, exacerbation of viral conditions, hepatitis, influenza, herpes outbreaks, you also offset autoimmune disease, because what this does is it tears away from the mucoprotein. It degrades the quality of the mucoproteins that compose the mucus lining in your gut. And that's what is responsible for your digestion, not your digestion, but your nutrient absorption through the villi and the microvilli. But basically, when you take this stuff, you're taking away from that metrium tissues medium, that lubricant, that mucus that's supposed to coat all of the intestines. And not only that, it's supposed to constitute your gut microbiome. So when you start consuming stuff like this, like the algae that's gold, the sea moss that's gold, people buying gold sea moss and taking scoops of it, you're creating perforations in the gut microbiome lining. It allows a lot of endotoxins to seep out, and liposaccharides that constitute these endotoxins, they start to migrate to different parts of the body, like the pancreas, the liver, or the thyroid. And that's what causes the autoimmune disease, the Hashimoto's, the lupus. So, and that also, that same effect comes from eating a lot of cornstarch high foods and a lot of processed starches, like the bleached unrefined wheat and the refined wheats and the cereals, the cakes, the snacks, and all these different things. But it's the same effect. It's the same effect.
So basically, people that's creating their sea moss and selling it in their kitchen really don't have the idea of what they're actually putting out here that can harm people.
They have no idea. I actually been trying to tell people about this for the past 2 years, and they attack me. I had a lot of people just make fun of me and attack me personally, but not a lot, but people who really were trying to make a business out of it, because they were.
Yeah, because I don't think nobody has ever done the research that you have done, because I know I haven't, and I've just been popping it.
I'm telling you right now, I've done research to a level that most people never do, because most people don't care. They don't care enough. This is not, I'm a certified holistic health counselor. These are not people who are certified in health.
Right.
These are not naturopathic doctors. Like, I deal with, like, the lady friends that I talk to, they're scholars. Anyway, registered dietitians, naturopathic doctors, certified health counselors. These are the people that you want to listen to when it comes to recommendations of these herbs, and especially when it comes to these sea botanicals, because it's even more complicated than the herbs on land. Ain't nothing more powerful than the herb that's on land than the herb that's from the sea. That's where Mother Nature really lives, not in the jungle. Earth is a water planet. We think just because we walking on feet and we on land most of the time, we think that we are a Earth planet. We call it Earth. It's not an Earth planet. Most of the water, most of the planet's surface is covered in water. And I hate to say these little, things that sound like I'm going off topic, but if you believe the Earth is flat or round, it's still.
Don't be biased. What you think? Since you're cracking off topic, let's go right quick.
You're too scientific, brother. I'm like, listen, I like dealing with the tangible stuff, man. I like dealing with stuff I can measure, stuff I quantify. I don't want to hear no mumbo jumbo stuff that I can't prove. Like, it got to be something that's provable. And I need units and data. Like, people, I get to explaining some of this stuff, and people get to start, they start to become a little apprehensive. But people need to, we need to understand that when you go back to it, we are the ones that invented science. We are the ones that invented mathematics. We're the ones that studied nature and the terrain and the algae. We're the ones that brought this people to the rest of the world.
Andrew, I don't need your fingers right now, but that's my producer. He's a smart ass. But
I leave Andrew alone.
Whatever. You didn't answer the question. Flat or round?
Round, man. I'm not believing. I know.
Right. Cut the camera. Cut him off.
No, let him have it. But he said something. He said something that caught my ear. He said he's the type of person that needed to be proved to him. But you was talking about measurements and so on and so forth of the earth. I'm gonna challenge you to go do this. Go on Google Maps and measure your round earth, and you will not get no measurements for it because it can't give you measurements because the earth is flat.
Okay, we're gonna leave it at that. You got
I'm not going to use Google Maps as a reference, but I believe our ancestors knew that the earth was round. I mean, you see, it's literally it's depicted on walls and stone chiseled.
No, okay. All right.
On Tribe of Africa, they mapped out all kind of constellations, thousands, like for generations and generations and generations. Those are our people in Africa. Explain that.
Okay, we're not.
We could jump on that. I'll explain it all day long. But Africa, we had that topic. Africa was never Africa.
We're gonna come back to that, but we're gonna stick to the. I just wanted to see. We're just gonna stick to the sea mouse.
Sea mouse, right? We're gonna have that on another show.
Come back to that one because that. That's a whole nother ball. But anyway,
you'll be on here for next year, honey. It'll be 2025 before they get off that subject.
Right.
You know
I just don't understand how people think that water can stick to a ball. So I mean,
stop. So
it's just that one. I want them to go pour some water on the ball.
My brother. So do you have a website called Comedic Soul? And do you offer you sell the sea moss already gelled up?
Absolutely. Matter of fact, I got an opportunity for a lot of people who might be listening. If you're interested in getting into sea moss and you want to go through the proper rites of passage to helping people at the same time, you want to make some good money. If you like making money, if you like helping people with their health issues and, you're not too health savvy, but you want to actually make sure people getting a good thing, I have a wholesale opportunity for anybody who might be interested in getting, the right thing, the real thing, and be properly set up to start business and actually make a good return. There's wholesale prices that I've been blessed to offer people with me and my team foraging everything. We're ranking up about maybe thousands of pounds of chondrus crispus and chondrus canthus, kelp, and bladderwrack. We actually have 10-pound bushels that are available for sale, and it's at a very competitive price. You're not going to find anything, at least in the United States, and proven, certified, tested, and you don't have to wait weeks and weeks and weeks to get it.
Who certifies it and who tests it? Where do they get that? Because that's a good point to be saying, because like I said, that gives validity. I love that word. It's the second week in a row. Validity to your product. You know what I'm saying? People can't say that. I have never heard anybody say, hey, this has been tested and proven. Everybody that does the sea moss, like you said, jumped on the bandwagon. I got sea moss.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, when you're looking for sea moss and you want to look for quality, the two things that you have to pay attention to is the location, the water, and then you also have to pay attention to the season. Actually, let me say three. There's the water, the season, and really and truly the species, because all of these different species, like right now in your house, you have a multitude of electronic devices, right? They all operate and function differently. You got the cell phone, you got the laptop, you got the computer, you got the TV, you got all these different electronic devices, but none of them will work unless you plug them into electricity, right? All basically electronics, and they're designed to function and do certain things. The algae for nutrition, when we're talking about 20 some odd different algae that I can talk about, they actually have different composition. They have different pigments that constitute that composition. And those pigments what those pigments do depend on if they belong to the green, blue, purple, red, or black family. Now, you can get a chromatography test done for the composition of the algae, and it's necessary to test the water to make sure a very important element is found in the sediment, and that's called deep ocean minerals. Deep ocean mineral clusters, deep ocean mineral, there are two other versions of it. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but I posted about it, talked about it. I can find that information. I just don't want to. But anyway, deep ocean minerals are clusters that come from the sea bottom, the sea sediment, like the coherence domains in the ocean. Make sure that these are dispersed at certain meters. So, somebody was saying something? I think that was an echo. Never mind. Basically, deep ocean minerals have about 70 trace mineral ions. They're clustered from the thermal vents. They're clusters that come from the thermal vents on the bottom of the ocean, and they're carried throughout the bottom of the ocean at certain meters via the coherence domains. Now, what happens is the algae, it has a very special composition of, or it has not composition. It has a very special ability. To explain this foundationally, we have to talk about the terraforming of planet Earth, or the land. Oh, you know what I want to say. Before algae came, we actually did not have much of a fortified atmosphere in this realm, in this planet. The clouds in the sky that you see, 70% of the oxygen and nitrogen in the atmosphere comes by way of the algae in the ocean. A lot of people don't know this, but the reason why we have clouds is because of the algae. The nitrogen in the atmosphere is produced by way of the algae, the oxygen. Because here's the thing, before the algae came, the only way that we were able to get nitrogen in our atmosphere is by way of lightning bolts striking through the atmosphere, separating the oxygen from the nitrogen, and that gave birth to nitrites and ammonias and all kind of different things like that. The algae is different. It has an ability to utilize iron's magnetism and separate the nitrogen ions and atoms away from the nitrogen or the hydrogen molecules in the ocean. And the byproduct of this process creates oxygen in the water. And the algae started to cultivate in the seabed, and this process started to began. Nitrogen started to be produced, and the byproduct of this created oxygen. The algae started to belch oxygen into the water, and oxygen started to separate from the tides from the ocean, and basically the byproduct of the oxygen turned all the waters red. Okay, so the algae created the first precursor to human blood, because your blood is actually constituted by oxygen, and it transports oxygen throughout the body, etc. The algae in the ocean created nitrogen and the oxygen, so much so that its first occurrence turned the oceans red. And literally, we have to appreciate the algae for cultivating and help terraform the atmosphere so we can thrive in it, and we can have things like, you know, birds and bees and all kind of other flying, you know, parts of the ecosystem in our atmosphere. And also it helps a lot of the animals cultivate, because they have more of a hospital and atmosphere throughout the world, and also more botanicals, because plants don't just breathe out carbon monoxide. They don't just breathe in carbon monoxide or carbon dioxide. They breathe in oxygen as well. You know, they don't just produce what we breathe and, you know, they breathe what we, you know, release. Like they actually require a little oxygen too. But anyway, you can get the lab done very easily. You really just want to make sure that you have the right species at the right location. You test the water to have those deep ocean mineral constituents. You will find out that, and if the algae is the species that you need, also there's another part about this, like explaining the species. Why testing the water is important to the species, because here's the thing. Not all of, like, people will talk about sea moss. The first thing they're going to tell you is sea moss has 92 minerals out of 102 minerals the body needs, which is a lie most of the time when they're giving you this. Ain't no minerals in this, ain't no vitamins in this. This will literally cause you to go to the bathroom and bleed trying to, you know, pass your waist.
What?
Had a lot of people contact. Oh yeah, plenty of people contacting me about that. When you get rid of the mucosal lining and the lubricant that allows your food and your dookie to pass out, what do you think is going to happen? Your food is going to move through your body and your intestines like a Brillo pad, and it's going to start.
Oh, no.
And
so what?
People go to the bathroom and feel like they're trying to pass out a brick because this destroyed all the lubricant in your small intestine and the gastrointestinal. This is not something that feeds your gut. This is going to tear away from the composition of your gut because it has no pigments, no minerals. The minerals attached to the pigments. People talk about, oh, it's 92 minerals in the sea moss. Not in this. This is stark white. There is no melanin, no pigment in this at all. This is white. This is Caucasian. Okay.
Yes.
This is not ain't no
white meat.
Pigments in there. Pigment.
And that's how people just sell it. That's how people sell it. It got 92 minerals in it.
Yeah, the pigments in algae are what constitute the minerals. The minerals in algae is not like plants on land. They're not like bananas. They're not like, you know, peppermint or tea tree leaves. Like the algae is different. The way they operate is different. They operate off pigments. Light moves.
So let me ask you this. If somebody makes a batch of that, right? And they make it the right way, because you said it has to be a correct way of them making it as well. So if they make it right or whatever, like how long can you have it sitting, and how long of a use can it be? Like
if they making gel from this, it's not usable at all. It's not beneficial at all.
Right.
That is literally, that's why I've been telling people like to stay away from it, because it's a scam. It's nothing, there's nothing good that could come of consuming this at all. It's not even something that I would recommend using for cooking because it has no pigments. It's dead algae. You know, so
with sea moss, the sea moss with the colors and stuff, how much, like how long can we keep that for? Like if we was to buy something from you, because I know you sent that out. So if people was to buy, I know it has to some kind of rules and regulations on the discard of the product.
I always tell people that, you know, you're going to get a minimum of 30 to 40 days out of any gel that's made from Chondrus crispus, Chondrus caniculatus, or Chondrus canthus. That's the Chondrus family. That's what Dr. Sebi told you to use. Dr. Sebi got on stage and a man asked, I'm having problems sourcing and finding good fresh sea moss. There's a lot of stuff out here. And Chondrus crispus is what Dr. Sebi responded with. He said, sea moss is known scientifically as Chondrus crispus, and it has a very special anatomy. Chondrus crispus, when you do the research, you'll find that it has very special ancient cells that allow it to achieve something in the ocean called passive diffusion. Before I even go too deep into that, just let me say, this species of algae, Gracilaria, does not have those cells. Those cells are non-existent in its composition. And genus Gracilaria is a red algae. When you type in Gracilaria on Google, the first thing that's going to pop up is a red version of this, a red algae. That's the only beneficial version of this, of Gracilaria. If it's not red or purple and it doesn't look stringy like ramen noodles, if it looks thick, it was probably farmed. But anyway,
we need you to be dropping your website too at the same time, because I know people gonna want to be able to buy some of that, because a lot of us wasn't educated on sea moss at all.
Yeah, it's the Comedic Soul, comedicsoul.com. Yeah. Comedicsoul.com. You know, you get a wide variety of stuff on there. It's a website that was put together for the purpose of bringing people a terminal where they can just access real, fresh, professionally crafted sea moss at any given time. You know, if you're in the United States, shop with Comedic Soul, you'll get whatever you order. As soon as it's ready to be sent out, you get it in 2 days. And that's, you know, you go there for wholesale opportunities. You can get, you know, something for grandma, grandpa, you know, for babies, you know, for infants, you know, 6 weeks old. Like it literally is a real avenue to get professionally crafted Irish moss, because a lot of the stuff out here, 90% of it, you dealing with this. It's actually messed up, because these are not
sand.
Yeah, you know, you go to these places, you know, you find these gimmicky sites online, and they look so professional. Like I'm literally looking at people setting up, you know, DBAs and, you know, Duns and Bradley street numbers, and formatting S corps and LLCs to sell sea moss. And I look at the sea moss, it's like this.
Everybody's is that color until they add some kind of fruit or something to it. Yeah.
And they got a whole bunch of dragon fruit, mango, strawberry infused stuff with extra sugar put in it. And then you go to the website, it's a bunch of copy and paste information. There's no real information. They're not telling you the type of carrageenan that's in there, because the thing is they just don't know. So, and it's like a snowball that's spinning out of control, and it's literally crushing everything in its path. So, yeah, you don't want people who are on dialysis, people who have diabetes. If you have diabetes, this can kill you. Okay. Because thing is, the pancreas is one of the culprits for diabetes. The beta cells in the pancreas are responsible for producing insulin and glucagon, something that most people with hypoglycemic conditions have a resistance to or inhibition of producing. But the Chondrus crispus, the algae in the Chondrus family, is actually scientifically proven to restore the beta cells in the pancreas and regrow the tissue in the pancreas, restoring the functionality of insulin viability, and diabetic situations start to subside a little bit. A1C genes start to come down.
So with taking sea moss, do you got to change your diet, the way you eat?
Nah. Also, let me also go ahead. Let me go ahead and say to anybody out there that may be listening to this, and you know, the potential detractors, I'm just gonna let you know that, you know, I deal with real facts. I deal with real information. When I set out to do this, I was not playing any games. I didn't put any emotion or feeling or bias in it. I wanted the answers. I wanted the facts. I'm on the side of the truth. If, you know, I find some new information later on and it kind of contradicts some of the information that I disseminate, then my tone will change a little bit, because I'm trying to stay closest to the truth and the facts as possible. And the second thing, if you're worried about, there's a lot of people that are talking about iodine sensitivity. Okay, let me say this. First of all, this has no iodine in it because it has no pigments. No pigments, no minerals. Iodine is a mineral. If you're worried about iodine when it comes to sea moss or Irish moss, you have to understand a number of things. I'm going to just talk about 3 off the top of my head. One, iodine is not really the main thing that you want when it comes to thyroid support. You want iodine with selenium. Iodine cannot properly be absorbed into the body without selenium. That is the cofactor for iodine. And also, the more bioavailable version of iodine is iodide. And then you also have iodades. These are these are the versions of iodine after its uptake and it goes through its desaturation process. This is the version that is utilized for your thyroid, okay, to help produce the T4 and T3 cells. Okay, so if you go to the doctor and you have hypoglycemic conditions, you're dealing with a lot of water retention, hormonal imbalances, obesity, overweight, complications that are correlated to these types of things, and the doctor's telling you it's because you have a deregulation of your thyroid's communication with your body, and you need to put more sea vegetables in your diet. They might tell you to eat seafood, but there's ramifications with heavy metals and stuff that come on that. But anyway,
what if you're not a seafood eater?
Huh?
What if you're not a seafood eater?
Then sea moss would be good. Would be perfect for you.
Okay.
A lot of people get their iodine by way of the crawfish, the seafood, the shrimp, the scrimps. You know what I'm saying?
The scrimps. No, but the SK on it.
I want to also put this out there. I'm a certified health counselor by the state, and I'm a weight loss specialist. That's the role they put me in because I was able to relate with people and their issues trying to lose weight the best. I'm Black. I'm gonna talk to my people first. I love helping everybody though. I literally have done the ethnic background and research on a lot of the major plaguing complications in different ethnic groups. Like I could talk to Hispanic and Latino community about complications that affect them, where the standard American diet usually complicates Black and African American people, causing diabetes. In the Hispanic Latino community, it causes fatty liver disease. So I know what I'm talking about when it comes to these things. And your doctor may tell you to get iodine, but this stuff, you don't have to be worried. You don't have to be fearful of the iodine in this, because for one, this has no iodine. It has no minerals at all. Really, you might gonna find you're gonna find vitamins and starch when you do the chromatography on there, and you're gonna find lambda carrageenan. That's it. That's all I've ever found. And to be honest, in the pigmented versions, you're gonna find the most about 30 to 35 macronutrients and trace minerals. Not anything close to 92, because it doesn't have, and I don't want to lose y'all and nothing like that, but it doesn't have that special cells that I was talking about to achieve the passive diffusion and get 92 minerals actually. So this is not, it just doesn't have it in its composition. It wasn't born like that. It wasn't made. It's not, God didn't make this algae. It didn't build it like that. Dr. Sebi told people to use Conjus crispus. People came behind him after his death and just started to deceive people.
Right.
Another side of the coin when it comes to iodine, because I ain't gonna lie, it is worth talking about. People worry about iodine overdose. We got to update our perspectives on the life that we live in America 2024. Now, every day you take a shower.
But I haven't dealt with Gary.
Somebody got a question first or something? All right. Every day we take a shower, you're stripping iodine from your body. A lot of times people get a little thing, like the ongoing things that we deal with in our immediate environment, we actually are unaware of a lot of it. We're unaware of more of it than we should be comfortable with. And it's allowing health problems to cascade and snowball out of problem because we're not aware. It's like the red car theory. If I told you you get $50, like you saw a whole bunch of cars this morning on the way to work. If I told you you get $50, if I asked you how many red cars did you see, you wouldn't be able to tell me. But if I said you get $50 for every red car you identify when you're on the way to work, you would probably know the exact number of red cars that you saw. And that's basically like the narrative that we don't pay attention to certain things like opportunities, and we don't pay attention to certain things like the subtle changes in our society. So we're not getting the prime quality of meat that we got back in the 1920s. You know, we don't have the same pristine quality of water in the lakes and the rivers. And that also counts to the water transportation system. You know, we're not pulling up these huge industrial pipes underneath every city every decade, every 20 years. We're relayering the inner tubing, right? And there's a lot of metaphysical information that correlates with how we transport the water and why the water needs to be charged, and we need to take better care of our water as far as the water that we're consuming, you know, like, you know, using shungite and putting the water in glass jars, not plastic bottles, and, you know, maybe sometimes drinking out of a copper water bottle and stuff like that. For one, going back to the iodine, every time you take a shower, you're stripping iodine from your body. The reason why we put chlorine in pools, right, is because at any given time, if we didn't, a leaf from a tree could fall off the branch and fall into the pool, and the green pigments, the pigments in that leaf that make it green, bleed and leach into the water and overtake the pool. That's what will happen if we don't put chlorine in the water, right? We all see swimming pools in neighborhoods that were abandoned, or behind a house that was for sale and bandages wasn't taken care of, and within a month that whole water turned green. Okay, because it's algae. That's how algae works. It's based off pigments. It cultivates out. Certain algae comes by way of its own cultivation, light, water, hydrogen, oxygen, all the right environment. Pigments start to cultivate algae. That's how it works. That's how the ecosystem and everything thrives, from the first eukaryotic cell, the single cell organism, to multicellular organisms. So, but yeah, that same water with the chlorine is what we bathe in. Right? 80 to 90% of people in America, pay attention now. This is very important. We drink it too. From the water, people, how many kids at the park drinking from the water fountain? You know, we put fluoride in our water. You know, you can go on state mandated websites to see the different variations of water quality in your area. Check this out. So, the water quality is convoluted with chlorine and fluoride, but it's purportedly for our best interest, right? But that keeps the water to a standard of usability, right? The same chlorine, the same chlorine actually strips iodine from your body when you take a shower. The reason why is because your pores are about 300 to 350 microns large. A virus, just to put it in perspective, is 0.7 microns large. The pores on your face, the pores on your skin, we all know the skin is the body's largest organism. It's not hydrophobic at all. It's very absorbent. So anything that you put on your skin can potentially enter your bloodstream within the first 12 to 15 seconds. So every time we take a shower, we're actually allowing a certain amount of this water to enter into our body and to join our osmoregulation. And this, anytime that happens, something of sensitive, something that's any trace nutrient or mineral, like in this case iodine, that's sensitive to the chlorine constituents will go on decline. So we do have a little bit of back and forth when it comes to iodine levels, but for most people, if they don't have seafood in their diet, they usually end up having iodine complications or thyroid complications because of not showering with a zeolite filter. A lot of people can avoid these issues though if they put a filter on their shower. It's called a zeolite filter.
That's what's up. Well, you done provided a lot of information for
Mm-hmm.
us. A lot to take in, and I'll be making snippets and clips of it, of the vital information that you have shared with us today. We do got a clear understanding. So if anyone's watching, and you can go to www.comedicsouls.com and pick up the sea moss. And what other products do you offer?
This is the Chondrus crispus that you want. This is the algae. This is what the algae that is most beneficial for you looks like.
Wow.
Just to put it on camera. And get this dried. You can get it processed into a gel. You can get it yielded into a number of different products like bitters, structured drinks. There's a hair serum that's available for a lot of people who might be interested in getting some kind of cosmetic benefits from the Irish moss.
Yes. We like them hair oils.
There's a lot of different things that you can do with these algae. And I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm looking for people, I'm looking for women in particular that are in the health and beauty cosmetic line of things, that your products, because I've identified a number of bases that can be yielded to create different lines of makeup.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I hear that, ladies. Come and network.
And it's just literally healthier, you know, because a lot of the makeup in the industry right now, like makeup is a multi-million dollar. You know, I take a look at a lot of these industries and what's going on. And, you know, I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel, but everything, a lot of stuff in America is just toxic, man. And
yeah, that's why I don't wear the makeup. That's why they got, you know, they pores get all big and they get them craters in the skin. They skin get the breaking out. That's why I don't wear makeup.
Yeah, we currently stocked up with like over 200 pounds of Chondrus crispus. It's so beautiful in person. I'm not gonna lie, the camera probably
is,
but it is really, really pretty. It's a biofluorescent. Sometimes when you put it in the water, it shifts color. You can see colors. Like the pigment starts a light show type thing. Like you have to remember, light moves at 180,000 miles per second. Pigments, 180,000 miles per second. Don't quote me on that. I believe it's pretty accurate. But you have pigments are the only things that can capture that light and quantify it and crystallize it into what we know as nutrients. And, you know, pigments in the algae do just that. So, you know, when it comes to the health benefits, you want to know how Dr. Sebi cured AIDS and, you know, autoimmune disease and, you know, all kind of different things like, you know, like even blindness, you know, dementia, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, you know, all kind of different things, impotence. This is how he did it. One of the main avenues of how he did it, because one thing, this algae does just so many things. People don't know that this algae structures water. The same thing that people want to, you know, juice, and, you know, you're doing a juicing thing. You got all the cantaloupe and the watermelons in the kitchen with the pineapples, and you want to get your H3O2. Boil this down in a big pot of water and let that water cool and then drink it and see how you feel in the morning.
Wow.
That's straight. That's the most H3O2 you're gonna get. That's the
I'm
only.
gonna get me some.
How much of that do you boil?
You could take an ounce of this. You can yield a gallon of very, very structured water, like the 5th phase of water. Because you know you got multiple phases of water in the body. You also have different phases of mucus in the body. You got pus, mucus, plaque. You got mucoid plaque. But the multiple phases of water, you got from phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4. Because you're not a solid being. You're also not a you're not just completely semi-permeable. You know, you're made up of different levels of fluid, different viscosities of fluid. Your cells, the cytoplasm inside of your cells, is made of a gel, you know, and when that gel is replaced, all of the microtubular working parts start to retain its integrity. The problem is that because of the standard American diet, we don't get enough things in our food or our diet that can constitute that cytoplasm. So we don't have a diet high in fruit like we used to have in the tropical regions and stuff like that, and also not much galactose or structured water, and also the water intake in general. We're kind of slacking on that in America. You know, a lot of people don't drink.
How much a pound of that cost?
You can get enough. It goes on sale sometimes. You might see it fluctuate. The price could range from $60 to $80, depending on the season. It depends on the.
I'm talking about getting from you right now, so I could.
Right. That's what I said.
Let me go look at, because actually I got a lot of stuff I gotta deal with, bro. Hold on a second. You can get 1 ounce for $10, 4 ounce for $25. You can get half a pound for $45. You can get a whole pound for $80. You get.
I'm gonna get you Friday. You ship it to me and I get it when.
You get it. You get 10 pounds for $4.50 if you want. You get that in 2 days. That's you know.
And how long will it last?
Huh?
How long will that last?
Well,
the expiration date.
How often you using it? I mean, like if you buy a pound of flour, how long is that gonna last? You know, like it depends on how you use it. And the thing is, you gotta understand, a pound is 16 ounces.
Yes,
We're talking about creating a whole gallon of structured water, right? That's enough to fill one of these containers. Right? A whole gallon. You can take an ounce. You could take half an ounce and you could boil that in a big pot, pour a gallon of water in there, use some distilled water, and just let that boil out real good. It's going to start bubbling up and gelling up, and it's going to start structuring the water up. It uses calcium to create that lattice structure in the water. So it's like shelled up. You got kappa carrageenan water, and it's shelled up like that. That's what creates that lattice structure in that gel. And then when you drink that, you bottle that, and then you let it cool down. Drink that the next morning, man, you're gonna feel like you just literally drank from the fountain of life, like, because it's full of so many macronutrients. It's full of so many ionized bioavailable trace minerals. It's full of fullerene, which is also known as C60. It's a carbon compound made up of 60 carbon molecules that's a hyper antioxidant. And unlike typical antioxidants in green bell peppers or, kale or any kind of vegetables you might eat, these antioxidants, they don't disappear after a while. They stay in your body forever. So this is why you see you're not getting none of that with this.
Right.
You're not getting none of that with this. This doesn't even have that ability. This is like Goku versus Krillin. It's not even a fair fight. I'm telling you right now, it's not a game. It's not a game. The science that stacks up on all this it makes this look laughable. It's ridiculous. That's why I just sit back and I'm like, I'm waiting for people to, have, have a blast with this. And then when they realize, whatever is not happening.
You know what? I'm about to get some of that from you. And then I'm about to make some water. I'm about to slime water.
Yes, slide it.
I'm about to slime water.
And let me tell you what, that's why I'm telling you, because I'm not.
They said wholesale deals.
Here's the thing. I'm not going to sit in my facilities making gel and structured water all day. I got the source. I got the chromatography and all that stuff. I sourced it. We got our spots. We got the forages. We got the moss rakes. We got everything we need to get enough of this to put other people in business. Why be greedy when I can expand and, educate in the meantime? Because here's the thing. We have an issue. 90% of the sea moss on the market is not this, it's this. And that's a problem. Yeah. It's like literally it's like people just trying to get gas for their gas station. And people don't know that 87 gas is actually partly water.
Mm-hmm.
That's lean with water. And that's why our fuel injectors get clogged, because that gunk starts to build up. But people, if they knew, they would probably push the other button, or they would go to another gas station that they knew had water, that ethanol or gasoline that was not cut with water. But it's just the power of information,
Grizz is super water.
This stuff is not an arm and a leg compared to the prices that you might find for that. I'm seeing some crazy prices for this stuff. And I'm literally on Instagram, I'm seeing people put some crazy prices on this stuff. Even when it's purple, it has no comparison to this. Even when it's purple, it has no comparison to this. You're not going to get more than 30 minutes, because remember I told you, it doesn't have those ancient special cells that allow for passive diffusion of deep ocean minerals. Deep ocean minerals are clusters that have over 70 ionized trace nutrients. If you add that to the 25 to 30 different minerals that you find in the algae already that it concentrates, and then it has the ionophorosis, the ionospherification, 30 different minerals fusion. That's to get a variety of like 90 to 100 minerals. Trace.
I said nothing.
Duh.
I'm just literally rambling at this point, but yeah.
No, we're talking about our co-host. She's sitting in here cooking. I don't know what she's doing. She's something else. She's a bad child. She's like a bad child of the crew.
I'm cooking. What is you talking about?
The bad child of the crew. That's what she is.
You know what? You want me to get off so y'all can have y'all conversation about Friday?
You know what? Zip it.
Y'all see that?
I know. See you later. I'm going back on mute.
But anyway, man, we're gonna have to get up out of here, brother. We appreciate what you're doing. I'm definitely gonna tap in and get some of that stuff, because I'm gonna get some this weekend, because I definitely want to try and be ready for Monday.
Me too.
How I feel, you know what I'm saying? And I definitely want to expand on it and see if I can't make some money off of it. I'm gonna name it Super Water. Grizz is Super Water. I'm gonna just go get distilled gallons of water, pour them, and put
that up even more though. You can blend it with some strawberries, some blueberries, or some bananas. That's
in that form,
and that creates a flavor like banana structured water, strawberry structured water, and you drink. It's the same thing. It's delicious, and I was selling it to the kids in my city during COVID. Actually very easy, and that's the best, and that's actually how you're supposed to consume the Irish moss also. That's the thing about it. When you boil it down, you actually diluting everything in the Chondrus crispus. You're not getting rid of anything. Remember, this is something that comes from the ocean now. It comes from the water. So its composition is symbiotic with the water. It's a hydrocolloid. It just needs to be thermoregulated. And that just means you got to boil it. But when you boil this, you take half an ounce of this, and you boil it down, you're actually taking every element, all the 92 minerals, all the deep ocean minerals, the kappa carrageenan, the phycobiloproteins, the C60, the fullerene, all the hyper antioxidants, all the pigments, they get dispersed into the water and they lattice structures up the water. And then it is being brought down to the recommended dosage for your cells. So when you drink that, you're getting the most bioavailable version that you possibly can from this algae.
Hey, let me ask you, will it help my hair grow back?
It could. I ain't gonna guarantee it.
See?
Hell nah. Don't tell him that hell nah. You bald-headed motherfucker, my choo-choo.
Okay.
Yeah. We can say that.
Not yours, Grizz. Not yours.
Hey, y'all want to hear some crazy though? I found some research that we could save for the next episode if y'all want to talk about growing hair.
Yeah,
it does. I know a lot of people is putting sea moss into hair products also for their children's eczema, and it's been clearing it up and stuff. So it might help you.
Yeah, that's what's up. We're gonna figure that out.
But you can go get you a jalapeno pepper and get it started so you can open up them pores. So just rub a jalapeno pepper on your head.
This is the product. This is the hair serum. This is a culmination of mycosporin, amino acids, lavender, castor oil, cocoa lamella.
That's on your website too?
This is on the website.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah, we about to get some of that.
Yeah, we about to do that. Hey man, but we about to get up out of here, man. We're gonna have you back on the show in a couple more weeks. So we might do this once a month with you on this information, man, to keep people in tune and to keep everybody on the same page, because I definitely want to check it out. And if it's what it is, then we definitely gonna blow up, because I need my hair back.
Man, this is the thing right here. I'm gonna keep it. It is scientifically proven to work better than Rogaine. And unlike, there's no chemicals in this, there's no water in this. It's herbs, essential oils, and the Irish moss. But the most active compound is the chaga root. And this will last a whole year. It smells amazing. And
what do? Put it on your head?
You can put it on your hair. You can put it in your beard, your mustache, your leg hair, back hair, whatever.
I got too much hair. I don't need no. You tripping now?
Whatever you try to grow.
I'm just trying to grow on top of my head, man. I got hair on my back. If I could transplant the hair on my back on my head.
Get him, Andrew.
Y'all know Grizz on his bullshit.
Whatever.
That part.
Hey man, but we appreciate you coming on the show.
Yes, thank you.
Very informative. One of the most informative shows we had in a long time. So I definitely appreciate you. I'm glad we was able to link up and hook up. And like I said, we're gonna revisit you in a couple of weeks. I feel like we should have you on once a month. You know what I'm saying? And talk that talk and walk that walk, because that's exactly what you're doing. I appreciate the fact that you got certifications too by the state. So that makes a difference.
Games, man. Not playing no games with them.
That's what's up. So we're gonna get up out of here. You know, like we say every Wednesday, we tell the people, hey y'all, don't be stuck on
stupid
and relax
on dumb.
We'll see y'all next week.
Right now.
Guess who? Nobody got nothing on us.
You're locked in to the greatest station. GRIZZBIZMY2SENSE.
Seconds, you making me mad. I feel like running in there with no mask. Put everything that go bling in the bag. Put everything that go put in the bag. I put this shit that go blind your back.